This podcast is for support and inspiration only. It is not medical advice. Always talk to your doctor or care team about what's right for you.
Ever wonder what influencers aren't telling you about their weight loss journeys?
All right, but Lizzo, I love you. If you're going to be a body positive plus size girl, you need to come out and be real with how you lost that weight. That's all I'm saying.
But what happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, I don't know what you did. But you did something.
And something.
Brandy Wilks is here to share her own Wegovy weight loss journey.
I'm going to talk about this. You can see what I'm telling you, and that's it. We're not having a discussion.
The truth will definitely surprise you.
Okay, here's the question. Do you think that social media influencers and celebrities have a responsibility to be honest how they're losing weight? More than the other people who are keeping it a secret?
Yes, because they are setting these standards, right? These standards of beauty and not even just beauty, health. They're setting standards of beauty, health, all of these things. Yeah, I absolutely do. You know, there was this big to-do over Kim K wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress, and she lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks. People are like, it's unhealthy. It's this. She had to have done this. Yeah, some honesty and some transparency. I lost, in 4 weeks, I lost that 18.5, but I was like, I'm on Wegovy. Because let's be honest, if I just walked up to you and said, oh my gosh, it's been a month and I just somehow lost 18.5 pounds, you'd be like, are you okay? That was signaling you to say that I was sick. So yeah, I do think there should be some transparency because you're setting unrealistic standards, like not just physically, but like health-wise too. Normally, in a normal situation, losing that much weight in that short of a time would be something that would set off an alarm.
Yeah.
So why are we not discussing it so that we know, like, is this healthy? Is it not healthy? Yeah, 100%. You don't agree with me, Jesse? I see you laughing.
Yeah, what's going on, Jesse?
Speak your mind.
I'm trying to. This is about you. It's not about me. Go ahead.
I want to hear, though.
I was 50 pounds in 4 weeks, okay? But I am a social media influencer, but that's not in my regular life. So my neighbor can see me right now. He's like, it looks like you lost a lot of weight. It's not my responsibility to tell him how I lost the weight. That's just my thought process. It's just like, you know, I don't feel like I have to open my mouth and say, oh, well, I did this. Like, you said she lost 13 or
I think it was like 16 pounds that people were freaking out about back when she wore that dress.
And I was in the low 500s. I was 511 and I'm now at like 450, you know, and I don't feel the need to now understand, I tell people my journey. You can look at my story. I tell people my journey every day.
Okay.
If you go on my TikTok page, you will see that's all I talk about is weight loss. I mean, I have bariatric companies sponsoring me for talking about my weight loss. I do that. But when I walk out and I put on my uniform and go to work, you know, I've told my people what I went through. But even if I didn't, it's not my I don't feel as if it's my responsibility to tell you how I'm losing weight. You know, that may be the trait that carried over from my mom, but if I don't feel like talking about this, because we have mental days with this too, you know,
Right.
my hormones are literally all over the place. You know, one day I'm happy, one day I'm down, one day I'm miserable, one day I want to eat, you know, and we want dopamine too. But I can't eat bread. I cannot do it. I can, but I know that I would be in the hospital because I would be severely hurting right now. So I don't feel as if it's the need for me to tell people what's going on or how I'm losing weight. But if they ask like, oh, well, how did you lose the weight? I can point you in the right direction because what works for me, it's not going to work for you.
So for you in your life, is there a separation from you, the influencer, and who you are in your day-to-day life? Is that right now, I guess?
No. It's not a separation. It's just I don't feel the need because I'm open to telling people, but my thought, because I do it on my social media, you know, what I'm saying is I tell people every day, all day. But I'm saying I don't feel as if I have to if I don't want to.
You just choose to. You choose to, but everyone doesn't have to.
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of understand that. I just feel like since I chose to start being so open about it on social media, I personally feel that I owe it to other people to have that conversation. And this is just I'm not saying that what you're doing is right or wrong. I'm not saying what I'm doing even is right or wrong. I just feel for other people who come up to me usually people 90% of the time when they ask me what I'm doing, it's because they're curious themselves. And I just know for me personally, I would have loved to have somebody come up. If I asked somebody like, hey, you know what, you look really healthy. Like, what are you doing? What changes have you made? Even if they put it all over their social media and I just missed it somehow, I'm not on that form of social media or just whatever, and I missed it, I'm grateful to somebody who is that transparent with me. One, the other thing is that I feel like I have now an ally. I don't think it's easy to be a plus size person in general in the United States of America. And I don't think it's easy to be a plus size person and be a person of color. So when I see another person who is open and honest, I feel like I have an ally. I have a person at the job who is on Wegovy also. And it feels so good to go talk to her and be like, things don't taste the same. And she's like, they don't. It's not going to be the same, babe. And I'm like, okay, so does it ever go away? She's not been my experience. No, it's going to be like that. And the other thing is that you got to remind yourself to eat, because if you don't eat, you're going to stand up and get dizzy. And you might even pass out. I'm just saying that for me, it feels good to have that camaraderie. So I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong. I just know I look at everything in life and go, I want someone to do it for me. So if it's something that I like, that I've experienced, I'm like, I'm going to do it for somebody else. Because what if I'm that somebody else? You know what I mean? So that's just my thought.
Yeah, so you want a support system.
I think it's all in context, though. Because it's like, if you think of celebrity, everyone does not expect every celebrity to be the perfect role model for their child. You're not expecting that. But if you are a celebrity on a children network, we expect you not to be a crackhead because you in front of children.
Right.
So it's like the same.
You're Miss Rachel.
Yeah, dear Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel needs to be child appropriate.
Right.
But
Right.
so for us, I feel like if you are going to make a stance to put your weight journey out there, if you are going to talk about either you losing a lot of weight, or it's just only fair to be realistic about it, because you've already kind of opened that topic up. Like, and that's personally,
just
I
my
just
thought
feel
on
like
it, too.
Like, you got to be fair with that. Now, are we expecting you to, every time we run into you, to get a full rundown of what you got going on? No, because you got a life too. But
well, and I think there's probably some trauma that goes along with being overweight, right? Like people, you don't want to be remembered for that. So I can see a celebrity when someone's like, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. How'd you do it? Just being like, this is not what I came here to talk about. I got to move here, something else. But I do think if you're somebody who has said, this is my life and I'm going to share it, then you should share it. You should share it. So are you feeling that like she's done more than just the workouts and the, what is it, the brushing, brushing, or she uses the wood? I feel like we're talking about the elephant in the room without talking about it. So I don't know what you did.
I don't know what you did. Or you did
The way you believe she's done something. You do believe she's done something.
So I'm happy for her.
Lizzo didn't come out and say, this is my life. They kind of gave her no choice. They were like, you're a big woman, explain yourself. I mean, that's all anybody talks about when they first see Lizzo, is not that she's talented, not that I think she was homeless for a while and all these other things. This is this big girl. It was like the first thing that was said about her. She didn't initially maybe come out to be this body positive person. I feel like there was no choice given to her. So now in this era of time in her life where she's losing weight, and whatever way she's doing it, she's not talking about it. And I think that a lot of times she didn't really actually talk about her weight. Lizzo never said, this is how I got big. I started out small, I got bigger, blah, blah, blah. She just dealt with the cards that were dealt her. And now she's losing weight and people are mad at her for not talking about it again. But I can tell you that when I was younger, I was thinner. And then there's just this point in my life and I start to get bigger. I think some of it had to do with hormones. I think some of it had to do with things that went on in my life. But like all of a sudden, I want to say 6th grade, 7th grade, I start to become a bigger girl and it just continues on. And then I get to, the end of high school and I'm moving to somewhere else and I would say I'm plus size. I'm not real big. And then I start having children and I get even bigger. And that's my story, which I've told people. She never did that though. She never said like, hey, I was smaller, I got bigger. These are things that happened to me. This has just been kind of what people projected onto her. So I'm not truly shocked that she's not talking about it, because she wasn't. She talks about what she does like to do. She's a vegan. She likes to create meals that are healthy. But but she's never really been that person to be like, this is what I'm doing. She works out, she does whatever, she shows what she wants to show. So I'm not shocked at her for being like, I'm not going to talk about this. You can see what I'm telling you, and that's it. We're not having a discussion.
On TikTok, I'm promoting a positive weight loss journey, whether you did it post-op, whether you did it through surgery, whether you did it naturally, whether you're a bodybuilder, whatever you're doing, I promote a positive environment,
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you're saying, but understand that some people may or may not feel comfortable talking about it just because of who they are. You know what I'm saying? When you said some people don't share it and help people. So my mom had the procedure done, right? And I'm giving her information in hopes that she doesn't get mad at me. So my mom is not going to come online and talk about her journey. She's not going to talk about the medications that she's taking. She's not going to talk about anything. I don't think my mom told anybody at her job that she was going on FMLA leave. But me and my mom are in two totally different generations as well. So, the generation before me, they don't talk about their journeys like that. Also, men in general don't talk about stuff they have going on. And that's why I wanted to kind of try to interject and try to change the narrative a little bit and speak on what I'm going through, because they made me sick. They messed up my gallbladder. You get what I'm saying? I've never had gallbladder issues a day in my life. And once I was taking them, I swapped and started taking another one, I developed gallstones. And the severity of the gallstones, I was in the emergency room trying to pass 5 meatball-sized gallstones, and it wasn't going to happen. But understanding that, some people aren't going to tell you that they have tried these things. As you said, and I'm in agreement with you, but, the older generation, they don't talk about stuff like that.
I mean, I would assume that your mom is probably close to my mom's age. The only thing I can say about that is that, so my mom did the surgery, and she doesn't necessarily talk about things like I do, right? Her whole life is not discussed. But if people asked her, she told people like, oh, I did the surgery. This was back when the surgery was a little bit newer. And then she got to a place where it wasn't working anymore. And she started taking Manjaro for other health issues. And it helped with all of those health issues. And just to kind of chime in with what you say, she is a lot more private than me. However, when I posted and I said, hey, this is a month in, I've lost, I think it was 18.5 pounds. I was really close to having lost 20 pounds at that time. I was like, the first week it made me sick and blah, blah, blah. And there's my mom in the comments. And she was like, I'm super proud of you, sister. Just know that when I took the shot, it didn't make me sick. But that was just, I'm saying all that to say is that that's the part that I feel like we need to do, is just be honest. For the friend that I'm talking about, she's just alluding to the fact that she hasn't done anything. Yeah. I think being honest, though, we empower one another, or you as a man. I think that's so important. I think it's so important. I have a brother who is currently talking about, if I could change things, I would have started eating healthier. He tries to eat, I think, a vegetarian lifestyle at least 3 to 4 days out of the week, because he was like, I'm seeing the changes in my body and it's time. I wish I would have jumped on this earlier. But I think it's so important that we are transparent, especially people of color, because we are dying at a faster rate than our counterparts for health issues. And I think part of it has to do is that there's a real stigma about being honest on like, this works, this doesn't work.
It goes back to, I'm not shocked, but the original question was, do you have a responsibility? And I feel like even though she might not have been like, this is how I became big, I definitely feel like she accepted that persona of self-love, big girls rule. Like that's been her. And people, we gravitated toward that. I'm sure a lot of plus size people who did not like themselves started liking themselves because Lizzo was a big girl who wear whatever she wanted to wear with the leotards and the flute, and she was doing it. And so it's like, okay, now you're slimming and you're not addressing it. Do you not love yourself now? Should I not love myself? I just feel like you have a responsibility to kind of share where you are, even if it's not the nitty gritty, just kind of share a little bit, because people who were there and was like riding with you when you were bigger are like, what's going on now? Like, is it not big girl season no more? Do I need to get on a diet? Do I need someone to go? Like, you have a following now, so you just gotta be honest with them a little bit and don't just be like.
So are you feeling that like she's done more than just the workouts and the, what is it, that brushing her. She uses the wood. I feel like we're talking about the elephant in the room without talking about it. So you feel
What you did. I don't know what you did, but you did.
because you believe she's done something.
I'm happy for her. Like, she looks gorgeous. And it's just kind of like, I just wish she was a little bit more honest with everyone else, because I just feel like you started your platform on that. You made a lot of money on that. You you got to be real to your following.
I hope she did it for herself. I hope it wasn't because everybody just kept on her until she felt she had no other choice. I just hope she did it for herself.
Yeah, I agree. But it's also kind of like, she's like, oh, everyone's mad now that I'm small. But you were mad when I was big. Now you're mad that I'm small. It's like, are we mad that you're small? Or are we mad that you're not acknowledging it and you're just like, oh, I woke up this way? Which one? What are we really mad at? I just think in a world where there's so many plus size people who may not even want to start the weight loss journey because of the stigma and all of the worry about what everyone says. Lizzo, for you to not care when you were big, I feel like share your journey now. So to show like, it doesn't matter. Yes, I was big and I love myself big, and now I'm a little smart. I love myself the same way. Like, just carry that same consistency. That's all.
Maybe she doesn't love herself this way yet. Maybe she's still learning.
You know, that's
Maybe she's still learning.
They might need some work, but even that's being honest, because it's a mental thing too. Weight loss is not just the pounds and the physical; it's a mental thing too. So even that could be like honesty, reality that someone might need to hear. Like, you might need to go get some help.
I don't know. Maybe she's in that transition moment where she looks in the mirror and she sees who she is now, and she's still learning to love it. Maybe eventually she'll share that with us, or she won't. But I do think that they should be sharing.
Come up here, Bariatric Paths, and let's talk about it. That'll be an awesome. Go viral.
Please do, come on. You should tag her in this.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see if she wants me or not. You never know. She might be mad at me. I just wanted you on this show because it is called Bariatric Paths, and everyone automatically assumes that that means surgery. But bariatric is any weight loss journey, with or without the surgery. And I really wanted to highlight the no-op side of this path too, because not everyone goes under the knife. Not everyone can afford to or have the option to, or some of them just don't want to.
I was born with a genetic disability. I have von Willebrand's disease. I talk a little bit about it on my page, but it's a clotting disorder, so I don't clot easily. So going underneath the knife for me was not ideal. It's just not ideal. I mean, it's probably something I could do, but I'm going to have a longer time to recuperate. And for my life, that is not ideal.
Yeah.
It's just not ideal.
Yeah, that can definitely be dangerous for you to do that. So I wanted to highlight the no-op side as well, to where we can talk about that journey too, because that's a realistic journey that a lot more probably are going through in the bariatric world. So how do you personally define body positivity in a world that makes you feel that you have to pick a side between either weight loss or self-love?
So I think body positivity in general should always be defined by you. It shouldn't be defined by society. It shouldn't be defined by anybody else. So one time when I went to my hematologist, I had my partner with me, and I said, what is a healthy weight for me? And my hematologist said, where you're at right now. And I said, no, this is not a healthy weight for me. And they said, right? They said, you don't have high blood pressure. You're not a diabetic. Other than your blood disorder, you don't have any issues. And then they looked at my partner and said, they have high blood pressure. They have this, and they're incredibly skinny. So by all intents and purposes, they're at an unhealthy weight. And it was just mind blowing, because it really is internal, right? It's whatever. Body positivity is what I see when I look in the mirror. I think we have this confusion on, like, body positivity means it has to be positive for you too. Because no, we're not going to all agree. I mean, you might not like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, but I feel incredibly comfortable in it. So body positivity is always going to be that internal, like, what makes me feel positive? What makes me feel good in my own skin? So I think we really have to, I think in society, we have to take a little bit of time of not being on social media and really look in the mirror and say, what makes me feel good? When do I feel good about myself? And then build on that. There's certain outfits that you might not like it. Like, you might not like it, but guess what? I think I'm the baddest thing walking when I'm in it. And that's okay. That's body positivity for me. I know that I positively love my body in that outfit. And it might not be your jam, it might not be what you feel is good for me, but it doesn't matter because it's my body. So that's my thoughts on that.
So what do you think about people who assume that, just referring back to Lizzo, someone who loved being plus size and now they did work to lose weight and their assumption is, oh, you must then love yourself because you lost the weight?
I think two things can be true at the same time. There are times whenever I look at myself and I go, I am not happy with what I see. And it's true. I'm not happy. However, it doesn't mean that I'm not a positive person. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in myself. It just means when I look at myself at that point, that maybe I'm not happy with what I see. I think two things can be true all at the same time. I don't think any person, whoever you are, wherever you're at, gets up every day and thinks that you're number one. I think you'll always have those moments when whatever, and it might not even be because of what you're seeing in the mirror. It might have to be with outside sources that are making you feel that way. You know, he mentioned it earlier. You're depressed, you're unhappy, you're anxious, whatever. All of that going in here is going to come out on how we project ourselves and what we see whenever we look at other people even. So I think that it really does have to do with internalizing and not being so worried about what your projection is on the outside, but how you really do feel about yourself. And that's why I say that about Lizzo. Maybe she's not talking about it because she's still learning to love who this person is now. And I know just from my personal experience, I am just over 25 pounds down now. And I know my personal experience has been that I'm still getting to know even just 25 pounds down. And she looks like she's probably, I don't know, I would say anywhere at 100 plus pounds. Yeah. From maybe where she was at her biggest weight to where she's at now. I would venture to say that she might still be getting to know who that person is.
That's real. Because I was like that. So that's why I was like, that's real. But it would have been nice to know Lizzo was going through the same thing.
No, I agree. That's not to that sisterhood. Like I'm so grateful for people who are like, hey, I went through this. This is what worked for me and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I feel a personal responsibility because I always want to be, my mom has told me, be the change that you want to see. Be the change in life you want to see. So if it feels good to me that somebody can come up to me and say, hey, the day before you take your shot, protein up, taking a lot of water, do all these things because it'll be the weakest in your system that day. So your likelihood of getting sick is really limited and it's going to hit your system hard the first day and hit its peak. I mean, this is something that somebody really told me, and it'll hit its peak on the middle of the week. That'll be the hardest day for you. So do all this stuff in between. That was a godsend for me. I was like, thank you. Like, cause at first I was like, if I'm gonna be sick all the time, how am I going to work? How can I, I work in the accounting world. I was like, I got to have my mind about me. Like, I've got to be able to focus on what I'm doing. How do I do this? So this is what I'm going to be like. And when she pulled me aside and she was like, hey, do this, this, and this is what's going to help you a lot. Keep snacks and hit me up if you ever need an extra snack. Cause I got you. That to me was everything. I was like, thank you. Thank you. It shouldn't be, I definitely don't think it should be this secret and, this closed door and this special club that we got to show like I'm a member, see the jacket. And then we tell you all of what's going on. I do think there should be some transparency, but I think that transparency also comes from not wanting to be judged and not wanting everybody to think they have permission to talk about you.
Yeah. Because I mean, even like for surgery, was like a part of certain groups and a lot of people said, hey, 3 weeks, 3 months, you're going to stall. And when I hit my first stall, I was like, okay, they said this was coming. So it wasn't
like, here it is.
Dramatic or, oh my gosh, but like, it was just something that, hey, it might happen. And it made me just more realistic of the process of what to expect. So I definitely agree. It kind of helps you along the journey if you have those type of tips to go along with.
If this is hitting home, go ahead and follow the show. And if you haven't already, join the Facebook group Bariatric Paths, Your Journey, Your Tribe. You can also sign up for the email list at bariatricpaths.com for updates and event info.
What led you to become a body positive advocate on social media?
So for me, I've been very blessed in the sense that I've had opportunities to model. I've been in some local magazines. I've done some runway work when it comes to the fashion industry. And I've always really pushed for other women who look more like me to be able to do it too. So a lot of times there's times that I went to a runway and they'd say, okay, you know what? Do you have some models you want to pick? And I'd always hit them with the model that was their idea, right? And then it'd be like, this model too. And if we can't do it, that's fine, but then I won't be able to come either. And not just because I wanted to push that model into the industry, but also because I wanted people to see, like, we exist. This whole like stigma of like, plus size people, like we don't see them, they don't exist. Come on, it's just not true. Most of us, by normal standards, so normal standards, are considered plus size. So why are we not showing these bodies? Why are we pretending like they're not out there? So for me, that is something that I've just always done. I've been really blessed. I have a super supportive family, from my personal family, my parents growing up, to who I am now. And I think that played a big part in just being able to be confident and do the things that I do, and just kind of I'm very much like, Jesus loves me, my family loves me. And so that's what matters to me. Everybody else's opinion is just not really relevant. So if I'm going to wear something, I liked it. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to like it. You don't have to feel the vibe, but I did when I put it on. And I just think it's important that women feel that way in general about their bodies. I think if you feel good about yourself inside, it shows what you're doing outside. So
absolutely. And side note, homegirl got some good fashion. Like, she be looking cute. I just want you to know that.
I try to
Love
be a
it.
diva at a time.
Like,
I
because
try to
that's
be a
like,
diva.
even for the weight loss, like I was one that, just because I'm plus size does not mean I'm not cute, does not mean I can't dress cute and look cute. I
Right.
could do it too.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh,
So as
yes.
somebody who was plus size and now you're smaller, how do you feel like you were able to keep that confidence? Because that's the question I get asked all the time. How are you confident at your size? And what do you feel like was your driving force in keeping confidence at the size you were when you were bigger?
This might sound crazy. I actually was more confident as a plus size woman than I am now. I was plus size literally my whole childhood, young adult life. So this is the small, I tell everyone, this is as small as I've ever been, period. I've never been this size before. And I just was one that I loved my curves. I love my chubby cheeks. Like, I just loved being plus size. And I always felt like, I'm big, but I'm beautiful. Like, I'm cute. Like,
No,
I got
that's
a cute
right.
smile. I look good. So I
Do
was
you feel like
very
it was
much more
built out
confident.
of a necessity though, from how society perceived you? Because that's what I feel like. When people are like, why are you confident? I'm like, y'all didn't give me no choice. You gave me no
Yeah.
choice but to believe in myself.
Yeah. So, like, for me, I was up until like 10th grade. I went to an all white private school. So I was only one of like 5 people in the building that was of color, and probably the only one that was plus size. So it was kind of like I had to quickly get over the fact that I was different so that everyone else can get over that fact, and we can actually like have a discussion, and you're not just staring at me or not being weird at me. So it's like that was kind of like a skill that I had built. And then even once I went to regular school and once I went to college, I just still had that personality that's like, if I come in happy, let's go, acting like a diva, you are responding to that more than the size. Like, if I'm not worried about it, you're not going to be worried about it. And so that's why now I'm actually a little less confident, because I feel like, I don't know, that was like my little protection a little bit. Like, I didn't care how I looked. But now it's just kind of like, you're probably not thinking about it, but I'm just like, well, who am I now? I'm not the cute, fun, chubby girl. Do I have the same personality? Like, it's a complex right now.
No, I get that. So I was discussing recently with one of my kids about the person that played Fat Amy, and now she's no longer big, and the different roles that she's given. And it's so funny how society tells us that we have to be fat and funny, or we have to be big and funny, and all these things that we have to do to encompass like some kind of empowerment around our body. And then when we lose that, where do we fit in there? So that's why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I could say, like, not necessarily exactly like Fat Amy, but I was definitely like, the Nikki Parker, like those type of, where it's just like, I'm big and fabulous and everybody love me. But now it's just kind of like, I'm just Toya. I feel like I'm a lot calmer now, but
Because you get to be kind of peaceful now.
yeah, it's like I don't have to put on the show as much. I'm just here,
Yes,
y'all.
right.
So there's an underlining message behind, GLP-1s or trizepatides or weight loss surgery, because this is a tool. The shots are a tool, and it's teaching you overall that what you put in your mouth can affect you. So right now it's teaching me, instead of eating 4 slices of pizza, you can have 1 slice of pizza and be okay, because I did a liquid diet for, 4 weeks? I did a liquid diet for 4 weeks and I didn't die. All I did was lose weight.
Let's talk about that.
It can be done. People say, oh, well, I can't do that. Well, it may not be for you. Well, how did you lose the weight? In order to get to the top, you have to travel some treacherous roads.
Right.
Going on an all liquid diet, clear liquids, is treacherous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care what nobody says. It was not easy. It's not gonna be easy. And if I have to do it again, it won't be easy then.
Right.
But it can be done. So what this is teaching us, whether it be Wegovy, or gastric sleeve or gastric bypasses, it's a tool. Because the honeymoon stage is going to wear out. The honeymoon stage, when I was in a honeymoon stage of taking Mounjaro, it worked. I dropped 60 pounds.
Right.
But once my honeymoon was over, it was like, oh, so you're going to do what you want to do? Cool. Let me show you better than I can tell you. And I gained weight again. So what these things teach us is you have to change your narrative, your relationship. Me and food went together real bad.
Yeah.
Now I don't even like it like that no more. It's like I eat to live than living to eat. I used to love on Fridays to go get pizza, wings, and all that stuff. Now you have to eat to live. You have to know what micros and macros to put in your body, what you need, what worked for you to make you not gain, to make you maintain, or either to make you lose. Instead of sitting here eating for dopamines, because let's talk about it. Let's really talk about how detrimental sugar is. A lot of people don't understand that with someone who is on methamphetamine, when they're going through withdrawal or they're going through detox, what do they give them in the hospital or they give them in these rehabs? They give them sugar and they balance out. So if that works for somebody on that dangerous drug that clears out thousands of people daily, what do you think that's doing to your body?
They've linked sugar to people having, issues with mental issues, like people who have Alzheimer's and things like that. No, I think you are really hitting the nail on the head, because everybody says, like, I think it was Oprah that said one of the things that she said, I realized that skinny people aren't hungry. But there was something very true to that, because I was like, on this shot, I'm not hungry. And then the big mind blower for me is that I don't have to eat these things that I've been eating to survive. Like, I got up this morning, I had half a bagel with some egg and some avocado, and I was full on half a bagel, egg whites and avocado. It was mind blowing to whenever before I'd be like, yeah, I would maybe eat that breakfast sandwich, the whole breakfast sandwich, and then want a second one. And maybe some kind of fancy coffee or something like that. And it's been mind-blowing to me to be like, no, I can eat this little bit and be sated maybe even the whole day before I realize I need to eat again. And I think there's some truth to what you're saying, is being like, you know what, our relationship with food was toxic. And I guess what? I don't have to have that much of it in my life.
Yeah. Food is a toxic egg.
For real. Just keeps coming around, shows up at your mama's house and everything else.
Seriously.
Can't get rid of them.
Think about it. Yeah.
Lose my number.
Please.
For real.
Still
friends with some of your friends.
Many different shapes or sizes. I had my supervisor, my boss told me last week, you can go back to eating what you want. No, I can't. I said, I started this journey over 500 pounds. I'm not doing this again. I can't eat that. I know what it did to me. So no, I can't eat that no more.
So that's what I was talking about earlier, is that I have some people that they try to offer me like the same kind of thing, or they want to do the same ways that we used to maybe bond or hang out. And I'm getting reactions that kind of make me feel like, oh, well, they feel like it's an inconvenience to them that I no longer want to function that way, or our relationship with myself and them and food has now changed. And it's really hard. It really is sometimes like being with a toxic ex that everybody still loves, and you're like, no, that's not working for me anymore.
When you start losing weight, you're going to start losing things around you too. You're going to start losing pounds, you're going to lose inches, and you're going to lose friends and family too.
True. It's true. I am interested to see as I lose weight, like how that dynamic, I guess, might change or evolve. I know right now people see me all the time and they're like, oh my gosh, you're getting smaller. Oh my gosh, you're getting smaller. And so I'm trying to keep that still, that personality that I've developed all these years, but I am noticing that people are very drawn to notice it and then say something about it immediately. So,
Yeah.
and I'm honest. I'm just like, yeah, I'm on Wegovy. I'm on Wegovy. I don't, the people that are like, oh, I'm just working super hard. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you did a surgery or you're doing Wegovy. Like, stop playing. I'm so quick to be like, I'm on Wegovy. She is too. She ain't gonna tell you, but she is too.
Like, especially if you've known them for a long time and they've been a certain weight for a very long time, and all of a sudden they're losing 50, 60 pounds. It's not magic, y'all.
So I feel, my kids and I had this debate because I have a friend who, she sees this podcast, she's gonna be like, but I have a friend who started losing weight, and I was so proud of her. And this was right before I started taking the shot. And I was so excited for her weight loss. And I just said to her, I said, what are you doing? You look really healthy. I try not to say you look really small. You look really healthy. Like, what are you doing? And, she did this whole thing with the before and after. And she was like, this is what hard work is going to get you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, man, I really must be lazy because she's just out there doing it. And then I was with another friend and I was complimenting her and be like, by this time now I'm on Wegovy and I'm like, man, she's just doing so well. Hopefully I can find out what her regimen is and start to copy that as I lose weight. And my other friend said, she did surgery and now she's also on the shot. And I was like, what? No, she didn't. I asked her and she
worked hard.
I was like, she did all this hard work and I'm going to find out her regimen. She was like, and I'm here to tell you that is not what she did. And it really felt not only disingenuous, but just as I feel like there's kind of like a sisterhood and a brotherhood with plus size people. And I feel like we owe it to each other to be honest and encourage each other because it's so hard, because people look at us and instantly have all these assumptions and all these things that they think that they get to say about us, right? And then I've heard it all. You are so pretty. Have you thought about losing weight? Oh my gosh, like her face card never declined.
Never came to mind before. Like, really? You think I should lose weight?
I never thought that. My God, you're a genius. You know what I mean? Like, and so I just feel like we owe it to each other to just be honest and transparent, especially when we're in safe places, to be like, girl, I had to get some help. Like, it's not you. You're probably doing everything that you could possibly do, but you maybe need some extra help. That's what I did. But instead, she's just taking all these accolades and people are like, oh my gosh. And there's other people who are plus size in the comments going, I just need to be as dedicated as you. Maybe dedicated to her story. I don't know. But she's not doing it the way that everybody thinks. And, my kids were like, well, that's her journey. She has the right to keep it to herself. And there is truth in that. Just for me, I was tired of beating myself up. I was tired of working out and going hiking and going swimming and doing 10Ks and 5Ks and everything else you can imagine and still getting to like a certain point and not being able to move beyond that. I just couldn't do it no matter what I did. Or, when I start working out a lot, my legs always get thinner, but my stomach would not change. And so just all these things that I just would do for long periods of time, hire trainers, do weight loss shakes and blah, blah, blah. And I did keto. And for anybody who's doing keto, this is nothing against keto. It was hard. I felt so alienated because also I'm a vegetarian. We'd go places and I'd be like, I'm on keto. What can I eat? And they'd be like, we got a salad. And we can give you a lemon to like squeeze across the top of it, but we don't really got anything else for you. And just sitting and watching everybody else eat and just, especially as Black Americans, we do a lot of gatherings around food and just sitting there and being like, no macaroni and cheese, no potato salad. No, I'll just eat this twig. Thank you. This green bean is for me. So just knowing all of that and just seeing someone who's like, oh, this is how I'm doing it and it's not real. I just really felt like, I felt kind of betrayed. So that's for me. I wanted people to know it's probably not you. I'm someone who is in my late 40s. I'm heading towards my 50s. And I just got to a point that no matter what I did, the weight wasn't coming off anymore. I could look at somebody drinking a soda and gain all the calories for that and then some. And no matter what I did or how I breathed or moved or whatever, it just wasn't coming off. And so on top of that, like I said, I have my blood disorder, which can make your joints bleed. And I was getting joint bleeds, just all these different things. And so when my doctor was like, I'm thinking that we should try Wegovy. Like you don't have diabetes, but you're with the weight that you have, this is all going to be leading in one direction eventually. So let's try Wegovy. And honest to goodness, the first week I told everybody it was hard. I was sick to my stomach, violently sick. I would not change it for the world. I have more energy. I played with my grandkids yesterday for 3 hours in my front yard doing squats and all kinds of stuff that probably would have had me a little more exhausted if you talked to me 2 months ago. So I will sing it to the rooftops to whoever wants to hear it. If you can band together with people, have people show you what worked for them, what didn't work for them. If surgery is not an option for you or you don't want to do it and you don't even got to explain to me, but you might want to try these shots that are out there. It's been a game changer. It really has.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what journey you choose, it's going to take work. Even
That's
the
true.
friend who was like, oh, I had surgery, but it will still work for her to even lose the weight with the
So
surgery.
that's what I don't understand is, right.
Like, it's all work, you guys. There is no method to wake up skinny.
Exactly. And I feel like, why not share if it worked for you or even in her situation, clearly she did the weight loss surgery. Maybe it worked for a little bit. Now she's on the shot. Whatever. You did a combination of things. I'd love to hear about that. I'm sure there's other people who've maybe done the weight loss surgery and maybe got to a point where it stopped working or other health issues became prevalent. I don't know. But then they need to go to the shot too. You could be somebody inspiring somebody to make really healthy changes in their lives. Why would you hide it? Like, why would we not share that information with each other? So I don't know.
The vibe I get when I watch your videos, I absolutely love them. They're so like inspiring and realistic. Yeah, and it's so realistic. Like, this is reality and it's not always foo-foo.
What I wanted it to be. I think there is still this really weird idealism when it comes to people that are overweight, that we're lazy. And for me, the plus size women that I run around with, most of us have 2 jobs, side hustle or a business or whatever. I mean, we are some of the most active, involved, and loving people you're ever going to meet. So why is there still this stigmatism that says if somebody is plus size, they must be lazy. They've got to be lazy. And I'm like, come on, it's just no longer true. It's just no longer true. For my people that are around me that are thinner, I can run literally physical circles around them in everything I do. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, let's stop saying that. It's not true.
Exactly. What's one message you want everyone listening to take away from this conversation?
That if you're on a weight loss journey or you're changing your lifestyle for the rest of your life, just remember that it's your journey and that there is no wrong parts about it. Everything about it is what you're learning. Hopefully it's something that you could decide you want to share and with other people, but it is your journey and it's okay, whatever parts you're at, whether you're thinking about it or you're already at the end of it and you're learning to love the new you. Just remember it's your journey and whatever parts that you're going through, it's okay.
So at the end of every episode, we like to do a My Journey, My Business moment where we ask our guests to share a piece of their weight loss journey where it might not be according to the rule book or with status quo, but it's something that works for you and it's your journey and your business. So do you have a little nugget of truth you would like to share with our audience?
I would say what's been really important to me is I enjoy chamomile tea whenever I'm getting. So part of the thing with this is I get random headaches, and I'm really sure that it's attributed to the shot. And it probably has to do with like maybe I didn't eat what I ate enough of what I should have eaten that day. And so I enjoy chamomile tea, and it relaxes my muscles and it gets rid of the headache. So that is something that has been essential to me. My oldest daughter is so wonderful. She ships in Egyptian chamomile tea for me that she found from some website. And that has really, it's really, well, it's stronger than our chamomile tea. And so it's been really, really helpful on relaxing me and relaxing my head so that I can really get into a good state of sleep. So that has been something that has been great. I use local honey. That way it helps with the allergies. That's why my eyes have been watering a little bit while we've been on. And that has been super helpful. And I know that seems small, but being able to drink that chamomile tea with that honey, it really helps the headaches and it helps relax the body.
Nice.
Weird fun fact, right? Not something you would have guessed.
Chamomile tea. So if anyone wants to follow along with your journey, where can they find you?
So on TikTok, my handle is Thoughts from a Curvy Mind. It's also the same on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook. I'm not on.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure to link all of that in the show notes. Thank you so much, Brandy. This was a
Thank you guys for having
conversation.
me.
We're gonna have to have you back because this was good. I loved it.
Oh, I love this. I think this is so needed. I'm so excited that you're doing this. I really am proud of you for this. So I'm so excited for you.
Before you go, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with someone walking their own path. Join the Facebook group and sign up at bariatricpaths.com to get all the details on upcoming events, support, and more. We're in this together. Go out there and crush it.